On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, we're talking with Tim Macy about video. Tim is one of the co-founders of the RETV Facebook group, and he's built a business around video. So we're going to talk about specifically which topics you should do video about, how to do it, where to post it, what equipment you need, all the misconceptions. Get ready. This is going to be a great episode. Now, play our hilarious intro.
The Massive Agent Podcast. With lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 89 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm. Welcome to the show. We've got a great guest today. We're talking with Tim Macy. Tim has built his whole real estate business with video, and we're really going to dive deep on specifically how to use it. It's a really broad-ranging conversation. So we're going to cover the equipment you should use, where you should be posting it, where you shouldn't be posting it, how to maximize, how to maximize your dollars. When should you hire it out? When should you be doing it yourself? Some topic ideas, all that stuff. It's a great interview. So we'll get to that in a second. If you are brand new to the Massive Agent Podcast, welcome. I am your host, Dustin Brohm. I am the co-founder of the Industry Syndicate. This show is produced by the Industry Syndicate Real Estate Media Network. We're very proud of that. I am a national speaker, trainer, and real estate marketing coach, and founder of the Massive Agent Society. To find out more about that, mainly if your market is still available, in the society, we only allow one agent per market to join. So go check out massiveagentsociety.com to see if your market is available and to see how that works. If you want to get leads, if you want to take full control over your lead generation and not rely on Zillow or your broker or your team lead or whoever, you really need to give the society a good look. All right. So before we get into it, I'm going to be, so today is Thursday, the 5th. I'm actually speaking tomorrow in San Ramon, California at Social Surveys Create Wow Conference. So if you guys are going to be there, I would love to meet you. Hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM at Massive Agent. And then September 18th, I'm going to be in Grants Pass, Oregon, doing a CE class for I believe it's the Rogue Valley Board of Realtors. Maybe it's the Rogue Valley MLS, maybe both. But I'll be in Grants Pass September 18th. I'll be in LA at the California Realtors Reimagine Conference or Convention on September 24th. I'll be at EXPCon first week of October in Vegas, Staten Island on October 4th, Salt Lake Board of Realtors October 16th, and the Agent Rise Summit in Madison, Wisconsin, October 24th through 25th. If you're going to be anywhere near those, definitely let me know. Would love to I'd invite you to come by the event. There's some great events to help you to grow your business. All right, quick shout out to our sponsor. This show is brought to you by Postcard Mania. If you've been listening to the show for any period of time, you're like, why is a postcard company, why is a direct mail company even involved in this? Because Dustin's always talking about Facebook ads and digital marketing and social media. Yeah, that's true. But guess what, guys? It all works together. I don't know if you remember the episode. I forget the episode number where I talk about how it all works together. You've got to have a strong online presence. You have to show up in the search results. People have to be able to Google you. They have to recognize your brand. They have to, you have to have a Facebook ad strategy. You also have to have a direct mail strategy. Because if you do all those other things and then people get a postcard in the mail, guess who gets a crap load of business? Guess who converts direct mail a hell of a lot better than anyone who just does direct mail? Well, you need a solution to handle all of that. Facebook ads, retargeting, Google ads, linked with the postcards, a tracking phone number, all that stuff. You could do it yourself, or you could just hire Postcard Mania. These guys are the perfect turnkey solution for realtors. Okay, you just hire them and they take care of all of that. It's incredible. As a special offer to Massive Agent Podcast listeners, they don't do this for anybody else, but they're offering it to you guys, a free real estate marketing kit to show you how to do some of that stuff. Just go to postcardmania.com/realtor-kit, postcardmania.com/realtor-kit. Claim yours today, completely free as a thank you for listening to the show. Go check that out, guys. I would not be I would not be mentioning them. I would not have them as a sponsor if I didn't feel like they gave overwhelming value. And to you guys who have already linked up with them and outsourced your direct mail and your Facebook ads, retargeting and all that whole system, those of you who have already done that, I've seen your messages. Okay, you guys are really killing it right now, and I love to see that. So Postcard Mania, great job. All right, let's get into the interview with Tim Macy. He's an agent with eXp Realty down in San Antonio, Texas, and a video master, one of the co-founders of the RETV Facebook group. Get ready to take some notes. As usual, this is definitely a tactic-filled interview, and it's kind of fun. We definitely had some fun with this one. So enjoy. I will talk to you after the interview. What's up, guys? I'm sitting here with Tim Macy with Rock House Realty Group in San Antonio. Tim, welcome to the Massive Agent Podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be on.
Absolutely. Hey, I've been a fan of yours for a while. Been watching your videos and I've heard a few of your podcast episodes. And you're involved in the RETV Facebook group, aren't you?
Yes, Colin and I started RETV maybe a year ago. I guess it's probably been over a year now. Okay. That's been great.
Nice. Yes, and you guys are all about putting out content, especially video. And so I wanted to have you on today because if we just, sometimes I think for someone who's not doing content or they're new to the business or they're trying to figure out what their strategy is and what they're going to do moving forward, they're told to do content. And that is so not specific. So I wanted to get your story of specifically what you do and how you do it, which leads to selling more homes in San Antonio.
Well, I think I'll probably I'll keep you happy and I'll probably let you down because I love tactics and I love diving in for tactical information, but I think so much of this is going to be different depending on who you are that I'm probably going to have to give you a lot of bigger picture ideas as well. But I'm sure what you're hinting at is that every single conference you've gone to in the last 2 years have told you video is everything. Am I wrong?
Pretty much.
All right. And I've been to those conferences too. And there are some fantastic video people up there talking and going, talking about different stuff they do. The thing that I think differentiates us and what we do, and I say this, what we teach, we're not coaching, we're not gurus, we don't have a course. But in our group, what we're doing is I think a lot more accessible video. Because if you look at, so-and-so that sells 400 houses a year and they have this video program they do and they have a full-time video person and literally the stuff they're putting out looks like it could be on, cable television. That's not the most attainable thing for a lot of agents and they get discouraged. And it's just one of those things they're like, when I have the budget, maybe I'll do that.
Right.
So we focus on a lot more budget-friendly content that I also think is just as effective or even more effective in the long run.
I'd agree with you there. I'm glad you said that because when people hear video, I think they immediately jump to being a YouTuber.
Or too expensive. Like that's
right.
The first thing, too expensive.
Yeah, like what camera do I need to get? And, then what editing software and all this stuff. Like, well, video also includes Instagram stories and Facebook stories and Facebook Live and just recording a damn video on your phone and uploading it somewhere to LinkedIn or whatever.
And one of our favorite forms of video, which is one-to-one video, right? Which is where I get off this podcast and I go on my phone and I take a video of myself and I say, hey, Dustin, I really appreciate you having me on this podcast. It was awesome. If you ever need anything from me, shoot me a message, right? Like that one-to-one intimate video is the most powerful video that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's such an effect. Let's do a little detour there because I think that's very valuable.
I love it.
Look, I use Agentology to respond to all my leads, and I highly recommend anyone that has the budget to do so uses Agentology. But even if you don't, or even if you are, either way, you should be responding to leads if you can. If you're there and the leads come in within the last few minutes and you're available, turn your phone sideways, record a quick video. It like 20 seconds. Like, hey, I'm Dustin. Nice to meet you. I'll give you a call when I can. I'm just out showing some homes, but I just wanted you to put a face to the name or something and send it over.
And I think you can make a couple of those one-size-fits-all ones that you can just kind of slip into somebody.
Uh-huh. But like throw it in your CRM in a drip campaign.
Yeah, but when you do an open house, right, and some family walks in and little Billy has a baseball game that afternoon, and at the end of that open house, you go and do a little selfie video in front of the house and say, "Hey, Jessica and Ryan, so glad you came in today. It was great meeting you. I hope little Billy won his baseball game. If you have any other questions about lending or the stuff we talked about, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm your resource. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, give me a call," right? When you can make that video that obviously is for them, obviously you remembered something about them. I mean, that is just so much of a better way to hook somebody than to send them some, automated email that you send to all your open house leads.
I completely agree. The personalization is where the power is. The magic is in the personalization. So, people ask me a lot, like, hey, where can I put these videos into my drip campaigns? And I'm not necessarily opposed to that. It's ideally, if you can, you should have the drip campaigns with the videos in there that happen automatically, especially if you can't, if you don't have the budget for agentology or an ISA. Get into your drip campaign. It's absolutely better than not.
Yep.
But even better is if you can take a second, say, like you said, hey, John and Susie, hey, Sally, whatever. Just that alone, personalized to them. First off, they listen because it's made just for them. They know it's not just some blast. And it works a lot better. It's all about making that connection. And video, as you know, is the most powerful thing out there next to face-to-face for making a connection or allowing someone to make a connection with you.
Well, and I think we have to think about, the fact that we're marketers, right? We're marketers first because that's the only way we survive. That's the only way we get business. And when we think about it, as consumers in this country, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of messages coming at us, right? And almost all of them are not personalized. So how do you get through the mess of messaging that's coming at consumers every single day? You have a personal video. Nobody else, trust me when I tell you that Netflix is trying to get you to sign up for a subscription. They're not sending you a personal video. So personal videos are huge.
For sure. And even if it's not a personal thing, like if you have a group of people that have a certain and I'm talking about Facebook ads. If you know people are all fans of Gary Vee, and you include a picture of you with Gary Vee in it, it's going to get their attention, and then they'll listen to what you have to say.
So Dustin, I personally, and this probably makes me less of a marketer, but I'm very anti anything that I consider like clickbaity. And I feel like that comes off a little clickbaity to me. Colin is the one, Colin Cameron. I'm going to keep referencing him because we built that RETV group together. And that's helped out a ton of agents, and it's helped us get a lot more exposure with agents, referrals, the whole deal. But anyways, Colin had a paradigm shift for me when he said, I only market to people in a way that I would want to be marketed to, right? So I don't enjoy getting cold calls. So I don't really make cold calls. I don't enjoy getting like tricked into clicking something. So I try not to make things that tricks people into clicking on things. And so that kind of mentality really steers my ship on what we do and how we do it.
Right. Well, I'm not talking about clickbait. So
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Clickbait it was borderline.
my definition of clickbait is if something's misleading.
Yes.
And so sure, it's all about, like, I'm just saying a photo of you with Gary Vee would get somebody's attention if they're a fan of Gary Vee. Then it's all about what you say. Like, then what's the content of it? Like, if that's not misleading, if it's relevant, cool. I'm with you 1,000%. Clickbait headlines, clickbait titles, clickbait, like little intros to the video where, some marketer heard some podcast interview. So they're like, I've got to hook someone within the first 3 seconds. And then they say something. The rest of the video isn't even about that. Like, which you do have to hook people in the first 3 seconds, but authentically. Yeah. With something that's actually about the content you're about to talk about. It drives me out of my mind. So I'm with you on that. It's all about, like, the content of the message, matters. If it's misleading, yes, I'm with you 1,000%. So you mentioned that, we're marketers and that's how we get to sell more homes. I don't know about you, Tim. It took me, when I first got into real estate, it took me years before I realized, holy shit, I am a marketer first, or that I need to be. How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate a little over 4.5, 5 years.
Okay. Did you
And
jump in with like understanding that, hey, marketing is everything, and that's the only difference between the agent that sells 500 homes a year and 5 is marketing?
I jumped into real estate knowing absolutely nothing. I had no idea about anything.
Lots of misconceptions about what agents do and how they do it.
No, I mean, I'm big on, I just observe, I see what people are doing. I try to figure out what actually works, not what somebody's saying works. And then go the paths that seem like they work. And so when I started out, I didn't know anybody in town. I was told like, you're supposed to like call all your friends and family and tell them you just got your real estate license to see if your cousin wants to buy a house. Right.
Right.
We moved to San Antonio from Connecticut. We had no family, no sphere of influence. I mean, we had a couple of friends, but honestly, my only friends were in real estate. So, I mean, I had zero. And the only place I could think of to meet people were to like dive into the investment game and investing and go to these investor meetups and try to add value there. And so that's where I got started, was working investment properties, which, are $50,000 houses. You don't make too much there. And just adding value to investors and learning the investment game and just diving headfirst into that. When it switched to video and marketing was, I'd start going Facebook Live when Facebook Live was, fairly new. And I'd be checking out these horrendous houses, right? Like these hoarder houses that nobody had been in for like 5 years, and they smelled horrible and they looked horrible. I mean, just the most awful things. I got sick one time because I stayed in one of those houses too long and just breathed in some of that air. But people loved it, right? People absolutely loved seeing these horrible, horrible houses. And that is when I realized, okay, video is a thing, because I can make a post, I can like write something, and it does not get the same reaction as video. And then it also showed me like, when people engage with stuff, stick to that. So if I did 5 posts and people were all over this one thing, it's time for me to go all in on that one thing. So more investors, more investment properties, more videos. Then those crappy houses started to turn into listing videos of pretty houses that were nicely remodeled. And then everything kind of took off from there.
And when you first started doing video, you started doing it about ugly, crappy, shitty homes?
So one thing I do want to preface is I've been making videos since high school. Like I've been, video is my thing. Like if I wasn't in real estate, I would be making these family videos of my family just for fun. Right. So I do like to do video. Not everybody's a video person. Yeah. As far as, how that started, honestly, it did. So I got investors from those videos, and then, I got some great investors that did these beautiful renovations. And so part of the deal was, hey, I get your listing when you're done with the crappy house that I just took a video in. So then I can start doing videos of nice houses in nice neighborhoods. And then more people see me selling nice houses, then they think of me when they need to sell their nice house. So definitely not what I would say is the traditional route, but it's what worked for us.
Yeah. I mean, I'd watch videos about the crappy homes. I mean, it's just as interesting as, like, the reason that works is the same reason why people like watching luxury real estate shows. Like there's something about the really nice ones, something about the really crappy ones. It's interesting. It's interesting. So good for you for kind of starting your journey in real estate with something that's actually interesting, and not just, let me show you my open house on Sycamore Lane, and it's this very mediocre middle of the road property that isn't awesome at all, but I feel obligated to show you. And now we've all done videos like that, and we'll continue every now and then out of obligation. But that's not what's going to keep. That's not going to build your brand.
But I'm glad you bring that up, because I mean I did do boring videos. I've done plenty of crappy, boring videos. What the key is figuring out what your audience engages with. And so, like I did a open house video and nobody really liked it. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I either have to figure out a way to spice up my open house videos, or I need to figure out, like a different topic to do. And one of the things is, I know people have differing opinions on this, but when my cute little daughter was looking at a house with me, that video got a ton more views, right? So guess what? My daughter's in a lot of my videos now because people love to see her. And I can't tell you how many times we've had clients, especially in the last couple of weeks, that have reached out to us when we're talking to them about business. And they're like, how's Alice? How's your daughter? Is she still with her grandparents? How, you know what I mean? And it's just that buy-in from seeing my family on video gets people to know, like, and trust me more.
Yes.
And it was huge. And I noticed it. And so I did more of it, right? Like if I noticed tomorrow that me wearing a backwards hat got more engagements, I would think about wearing a backwards hat in all my videos.
Let's expand on this, because this right here is the key, one of the keys, major key alert for doing any kind of content or any marketing at all. Like I think so many agents feel that they have to do a certain thing because they're an agent, so they must go live for 90 seconds every Saturday and Sunday when they have an open house, even though no one but their husband and their mom ever watches it. See, you are not married to any one topic or any one thing. Like you put it out there, you see what works, you see what doesn't, and then you do more of what works, and you keep pivoting because you have intellectual honesty and you're not married to any one thing. Is that hard for you, or does that come natural?
I think that comes pretty natural to me. And it just comes, I think, from growing up being an observer. I grew up boxing, right? And
okay.
Boxing's a funny thing. So when you go,
did you back away from the mic?
Oh,
it's so quiet now.
Sorry.
You're good.
So I grew up boxing, and when you grow up boxing, you go into these gyms, and there's a lot of people that talk like they are the best, and they look like they're the best. But when they get in the ring, you find out they suck, right? Mm-hmm. And there's people that are really good. And you start to become a good observer of who's doing things that actually work, what does actually work, and what doesn't. And that can be very challenging in our industry and in our space because everybody's telling you that all this stuff works. And so for me personally, I think I've been pretty good at having good radar and good observation to figure out what actually works and react to that and not buy into the hype. Because look, somebody does this restaurant show and they're talking about food and you can tell they're a dang connoisseur and have been to chef school, right? Maybe I don't know anything about food. I shouldn't do a food show. And so figuring out what you like to do and what your audience likes watching you do is really important if you're going to find any success in any of this.
Yeah. It's just amazing. And we both know a lot of agents like this. They just keep doing the same shit that obviously doesn't work and that people don't tune into, they don't care about, but they just keep doing it out of familiarity or laziness, or someone told them, well, you just stick with it and eventually it'll work. But not everything will eventually work.
So I would say 2 years ago, I would have told you, I don't care, just put out videos, see what happens. But with the way the algorithms are now, I feel like if you continually put out content that nobody engages with, Facebook's never going to show your stuff to anybody. And so I don't want to discourage people from doing less, right? You still got to get out there. You still got to do it. But you got to be a little bit more mindful of, are people engaging with what I'm posting? So if you post the video of 7 ways to tidy up your house from some BS news article that 8 other agents have posted in the last 20 minutes,
mm-hmm.
It's going to.
I think I saw that article on my newsfeed today.
Right.
From Keeping Current Matters, most likely.
Yeah. So Keeping Current Matters is a great example. Mm-hmm. Keeping Current Matters will give you some good info and some good data and some good stuff. It's your job not to just post whatever article they want you to post. It's your job to make your own piece of content from that information, because Facebook doesn't like copied content. They want original, engaging, good content. And most importantly, your sphere, the people around you, don't want the same copied content. They want you. They want to know what you feel about something. They want to see your life, and they want to see how you are doing things. And that's the big difference.
Yes, absolutely. Look, I completely agree. Like getting a topic idea from some source is great. Then you have to put your own spin on it. And if your thing is dumbing down concepts, I think that's something that people follow me for, is I have to dumb down concepts for myself so that I can comprehend it, and then I share it. And I think, people who listen to the show probably appreciate that. Some people are really like head in the clouds, like just super smart and, high level, and people who follow them are really high level. So you've got to like make it your own and share it in a way that makes sense to you and your audience. But just regurgitating line by line with no real tweak to it is the recipe for disaster. And I'm with you 100% on you're training the algorithms to never show your content to people again if you stick with the crappy stuff.
Well, and I know, I'm sure you have some in-depth conversations with some people that are a lot smarter than me on algorithms and on
Nobody's smarter than you, Tim. Come on. Facts.
And so, listen, I looked at the stuff. I watched the training on SEO and backlinks and all this stuff, they used to have. Mm-hmm. And you can either trick the system or you can give the system what it wants, right?
Yes.
Like the system wants good content that people engage with. And so don't worry about how to trick the system. Just work on giving it good content that people engage with, and you can deal with any algorithm change there is.
What are some of the best pieces of content that you've put out there? Because you're right, you've got to give these algorithms, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, doesn't matter. They all want good content. And you know when you put it out if it's good or not. You just have to be, willing to make a pivot if it's not working. But what are some specific examples of good content you've put out? What have been some of your best pieces of content? I know you mentioned your daughter in the video, which was gold.
So my best listing video is me, and I get a phone call at a local coffee shop, right? And it's a local coffee shop downtown that people know, name of the coffee shop's there. And person calls me and is like, hey, I want to see this house in 10 minutes. And I'm like, no problem, I'll be there. And I jump on a scooter, right? One of the bird scooters. And I
love birds. Mm-hmm.
I take off down the street through the park, and I go by this like really cool popsicle place we have in town, Steel City Pops. I run in there, I grab a popsicle, and the thing looks amazing. They put like sprinkles and stuff all over it. And then I take off. I get distracted again at my favorite burger place. So I pull off to the burger place, eat a quick burger, right? And the whole time I'm like in a rush to get down to show this house, but I keep getting distracted by all these great restaurants that are right near the house, showcasing the local area. Then I get to the house, shake hands with the guy, and it just turns into a listing video. So that listing video was probably my best listing video to date, and for a couple reasons. One, I started off with a coffee shop that people know. So you talk about the first 3 to 6 seconds, right? Like you can do something gimmicky, like jump in a pool or do something else. But, if you're doing a listing of a neighborhood and you show something that anybody that is near there would know, that's going to be a scroll stopper. We're always looking for scroll stoppers. In the Facebook feed, you're competing with everybody. My mother-in-law was at a party last night and she was going Facebook Live, right? Like I'm competing with my mother-in-law who's partying all the time. So it's not easy. And you have to put in something that's going to stop people from scrolling, get people to start watching your video. The other thing I did was I highlighted local businesses.
Yes.
And more specifically, I highlighted local businesses that have a social media presence. So when I put the video out and it was a good video, guess who shared my video? The local businesses with good social media presences.
Yes.
And this was when bird scooters first came out, right? And I was driving around. I was like, what the heck are these things? Guess what everybody else was thinking that was driving around? They were thinking the same thing. So when I stuck those in a video, it's like, oh, local coffee shop everybody knows, local park, and these dang scooters I've seen pop up all over San Antonio. So many people stopped and watched the video to be like, what the heck is this about? And then I highlight the local businesses. You get to the house, you see the listing. So those are just a couple of the things that made up what I would say is probably the best listing video I've done.
I love that idea because, look, we've got to market our videos, but there's no rule that says you must start at the front of the house and then show off every single room and end the video. But so many agents do that. They don't put any thought or effort into making it actually interesting. So I love that. I think that's really clever and that's important. So, finding the businesses with social media followings or with, some buzz. I don't know about you, like I've done some articles like, the 10 best coffee shops in town, the best sushi restaurants, stuff like that. It's always frustrating when you go to post it on social and you find out that a few of them don't even have a Facebook page but then the ones that do share the crap out of it and it goes crazy.
Yeah, you should be finding out who's got the social media following before you name one of them the winner.
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way. Like, oh, wow, great sushi. That's cool, but you have no Facebook page. So, yep, sushi worse.
And so, yeah, and another pushback I get, and it's always from other agents, right? And this is the other thing. The biggest thing a lot of agents are worried about when it comes to doing video is what other real estate agents are going to think about their video.
Yep.
Which is total crap. Like, who cares? Your clients love it because nobody else is making videos for them. So if we can drop that feeling, I always say, if you aren't bothering other if you aren't annoying other real estate agents with your social media, you're not doing enough social media, right?
Yeah.
Like, other agents should hate how much you post and about everything else because your clients love it. And so I think that's a big thing for other agents is they listen too much to other agents. And I officially lost my train of thought because I was going to say something.
Oh, good. It's not just me with the squirrel moments. I love it.
All right.
So Shannon Milligan in Richmond, Virginia does a great job with her listing videos, and she doesn't give a shit about what other agents think.
I love Shannon.
She's amazing. She's very talented. She's very creative, and it's amazing because I'll hear about some of these ideas before she does the video, and she just has such a clear vision of what she's doing. Very talented, but she puts them out, and I know she gets some negative comments, and I know she gets some people talking in the background, but a lot of agents respect her for it. There's two types of people. There's those that want to tear people down. There's those that want to collaborate and build people up. When you start putting out content, you're going to find out who those people are pretty quick.
And the other thing is, let's get back to boots on the ground here. What we're caring about when we're doing listing videos is we're caring about the sellers, right? How do we get their house more exposures?
Mm-hmm.
More exposure. The other thing we're trying to do is get more listings. And when I walk into a listing appointment, and I say, hey, who else are you talking to? And they're like, well, Dustin says he does video too. What makes you different? And I go, and Dustin may have the most beautiful listing video, right? And it is professional, and it has nice titles, and it has great shots, and he spent a bunch of money on it. And get this, it's on Vimeo, right? It's not even on any of the social media platforms. It's just on Vimeo.
Yes. I think I know this Dustin guy.
Right? Vimeo, the place where beautiful listing videos go to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got...
Never be seen.
Right? It's got 20 views, right? This guy spent $2,000 on a listing video that has 20 views on Vimeo. And so, what I do is I say, well, Mr. Seller, our videos are definitely more unconventional. We put ourselves in the videos. We put local restaurants in the videos. But as you can see, at 18,000 views, I think our listings get more exposure than the beautiful videos so-and-so does. And so, when it comes down to the question of should you do more professional videos that the agents aren't in that showcase the house better, I'm like, look, you can showcase the house better in a listing video, but that's not what matters. What matters is how many people watch it. And if you make it entertaining, if you put yourself in it, if you do all these other things, more people are going to watch the listing video. And us as real estate agents, that's our job.
What's your advice to a brand new agent or an agent who's just wanting to dive into video, who's terrified? They're like, I hate being on video. I'm so nervous. Where do I start? Do I really need to do Facebook Live? Do I really need to do YouTube? What are some ideas with bumpers, so to speak, so that they can, with training wheels, so they can get into video and really take advantage of the power of it, but not cause them to age 10 years over the next week with stress?
So small plug, RETV would be a good place to go, just because
Facebook group.
Yeah, we
fantastic.
We built that place, so literally you can put your video in there before you put it out to the world. But I would think about doing one-to-one videos to people and so send a one-to-one video of your uncle talking about the house that you're going to check out that day. Go see houses. just go preview houses. Go preview houses near where your friends live and send them one-to-one video saying, hey, Jeff, it's me. I'm down the street, man. Look at this crazy bathroom that's in this house. What that's going to do is it's non-threatening because you're just sending it to somebody you know, and you're going to get better at talking in front of the camera and talking about a house. Because look, I didn't grow up selling houses. And so when I first started doing videos about real estate, like, I didn't know what a farmhouse sink was. I didn't know what, dual masters were and all this other stuff. So it does take some practice. So get out there, preview listings, and then record little videos that you can send to people as a kind of an easy way to get started.
Yeah. Oh, for me, like I used to be nervous in front of the camera, just like anyone else starting out. I think there's very few people out there that start producing content and they're perfectly comfortable doing it.
One of the things you have to do is you have to get rid of your camera voice. There's a recording voice, right? Like the way I'm talking to you right now, it's the way I talk on camera, is the way I talk to my wife, is the way I talk to my clients, right? Like you just have to figure out how to get over yourself and be your authentic you on camera. Because guess what? If you're somebody else on camera, the goal is to have an appointment and meet somebody in person. If you're somebody else, nobody likes that, right? And so pretending the camera is your friend, and that's where I say sending one-to-one videos to somebody, because Dustin, if I'm sending you a video, I'm going to talk to the camera like I'm talking to you. What happens is we hit the button and there's that red flashing light, and all of a sudden you're like, crap, who am I talking to? I'm talking to this camera. This camera could be 1,000 people. Now I'm nervous. And if you do one-to-one video where you're making them for somebody you know, I think you'll get better at your on-camera voice.
Yeah. For me, it was Snapchat. Just doing 10 seconds at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Like multiple times per day, every day. And pretty soon, I didn't even realize it happened. But it's like, I'm not nervous. Like I could just record a video. It's not even like, I don't even think about it anymore. But when I started out, I was nervous. So guys, use Snapchat, use Instagram stories, use Facebook stories. And because then your friends see it. And it's supposed to be impersonal or not impersonal, but more laid back anyways. So what a great place to practice.
I love it. How much more time we got?
As much time as you want.
Whoa, don't tell me that, because I got nothing. Well, I guess I do have something. But
I have nothing going on today. I have absolutely nothing. So let's not do that. But we're good on time, though.
I do want to give some tactical stuff on the question that everybody always never fails to ask, which is, what camera do I buy? You can go the high end and get a $3,000, $4,000 camera, but there are a lot of fantastic, easy to use options that are right around the $400 mark, $300, $400, $450, which are the DJI Pockets, the DJI Action, and the GoPro Hero 7. And so if you get the Hero 7, it has to be the nice version, the black version, because it has in-camera stabilization. And I use that camera for most of the stuff I do. Nice. And the reason it's great is it gets good color, pretty good picture, and it has the in-camera stabilization, so the shots come out looking pretty good. And all three of those cameras will do that. So if that's your objection, I don't know what camera to buy, you no longer have it, go buy one of those cameras and get rolling.
Yes. And I think, honestly, for most people too, depending on the video they're doing, just using your iPhone camera. Like if you're walking down Main Street showing the different, oh, here's this shop that just opened, or, these guys have great gelato. Like just do it on your phone.
For whatever reason, in my experience, it's crazy. We've worked with so many agents trying to get started in video this year. It's been like this whole new eye-opening thing for me. Doing the phone and the gimbal, and then maybe getting like a moment lens for it, all which are great things, tends to sometimes like complicate the process. And then you get somebody calls you and whatnot. So buying that standalone camera has been the little fire to get people going. So I've done tons of video on my phone. You can do tons of video on your phone. It's so easy. A lot of times I'll cut in video from my phone to my professional videos, and nobody notices because the camera's good.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you if you're stuck in a rut, because so many people have been trying to do video for a while. A lot of times getting that new toy may be the thing that, pushed you over the edge.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. I just don't want people to use lack of budget or lack of equipment to not start. So start with your phone. But I completely agree, Tim. When I first got DJI, why is that so hard for me to say? DJI Mobile 2 gimbal, I started using the crap out of it. And I started doing more video because of it. So yeah, if you go get this new toy, you're going to use it more. Like when I first got my drone, I used the crap out of it, and that, I think that's great advice. Go get something. You don't have to you don't have to go get a Red, which I hadn't even heard about till one of my videographers I used to use was like, oh, I got to get this Red, or was it Red or Ronin? What's Ronin?
The Ronin is the gimbal. The Red is like the ridiculously amazing video cameras. Which I want. I'm in that boat. I want one.
Yes.
Look, I don't get one because if I need to do something that high end, I should be hiring somebody.
Yeah,
right? Like
completely.
And I think the thing is to figure out how to do the run and gun stuff where you can just put out more content. Like we went to a restaurant, right? I didn't schedule with the owner to do an interview. I didn't do any of that. We just went to get burgers. I got some shots of the place. I got some shots of my burger. I got some shots of my daughter playing on the playground. I talked about how much I love the burger and the atmosphere, and this place is great. I gave it to my VA to edit, and I got back a pretty good video for not much money. And so it's that type of stuff that you can do on a budget to put out more content. And then at some point, sure, you are going to have to bite the bullet and spend some money on video, but it's the consistent content that's cheap that is the challenge for most people.
For sure. So you've been an agent for 4.5 years or so. What does your real estate business look like? Are you a solo agent? Do you have a team? Like, tell us a little more background about your real estate business, your brokerage. Like, what does all that look like?
Sure. So my wife and I work together as a husband-wife team.
Oh, nice.
She does all the work, and I just
You take all the glory.
She's the one that gave me a dirty look when I said I have all day.
The hell you do, Tim.
So we're a husband-wife team here. We're with EXP, so we have a group that's brokered by EXP Realty, and we have a lot of agents here in town and across the country that we support and collaborate with on video stuff. We have 3 agents with Rock House Realty Group in Connecticut, and then we have an agent in Austin. And so we're using video to build our team brand, and it's been fantastic. Like we just recently had some of our stuff played at the Tom Ferry Summit, and I saw people online asking, who is that Rock House agent? And that to me was like, man, the video brand building is working because we put out these engaging videos, we put out this stuff, and then the Rock House bumper's right at the end, and it's doing its job. So we do a ton of video. I don't do any prospecting. I don't do expireds. I don't even really do online leads per se. Or online video activity either generates clients, which I heard you talk to Grant Wise about, which I loved.
That was a good interview, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so we generate clients, or it helps us out a ton with referrals because, we're supposed to call our past clients, right? Mm-hmm. And the toughest part of calling past clients is like, what am I going to talk to them about? I can't just call them and be like, hey, do you know anybody that's thinking of, like, everybody hates making those phone calls. When I call my past clients, they're like, wow, Tim, it's been great watching you on Facebook. How's like, they're talking to me. They're so excited to hear from me, because they've been watching all of our videos and all the stuff we've been doing. And so, I mean, video is just everything for us. It's our lead generation. It's how we keep in touch with our past clients. It's how we build our brand. And, it's just how I don't know what I'd be doing if Facebook and the ability to put videos on social media platforms wasn't around.
Right. Exactly. Well, you'd be putting them on Vimeo.
Vimeo.
so that, yeah. All right. So,
hey, listen, if anybody's listening and has some great Vimeo strategy that we don't know about, please slide into my DMs, because I have no idea what people are doing putting videos on Vimeo.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Just put it on YouTube, and then there's discoverability. And anyways.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that one. So you say you have agents in other locales, kind of an expansion team model, right? So what does that look like? So you're able to do that because of EXP. You can attract and work with agents from anywhere EXP is open. So that's most of Canada and all of the US and soon to be the UK and Australia. Any tips for somebody? Quick tips, because I don't want to distract from all the awesome video tips you gave. But what's it like hiring an agent or linking arms with an agent in a team setting who's not in your area?
Well, it's funny you say that because we go to the Tom Ferry Success Summit every year. That's our favorite event to go to every year. And it's always like a reset button for us and what we need to work on, because the new real estate year really starts in September, right? Like it doesn't start in January. You start putting in the work for 2020 in September. And one of the things that we need to do, I think, is network more with the local agents. Because I know agents across the country. We take these road trips and I can stop in any single market and have an agent that I'm friends with that I know and I can hang out with. I love meeting so many different agents across the country, masterminding with them, taking ideas from them, bringing them back to my market. But what's funny is I go to a local event. I don't know anybody because I'm so busy collaborating and taking ideas from other people in different markets. And so when you talk about bringing on another agent in another market with EXP, it's like, that's what I'm about. That just flows through my veins, is collaborating with people from different places and using their ideas and bringing them back to where we're at. And that started with boxing too, because we travel all over the country and we'd have different guys into our gym. And I would love these guys from, I'm totally off topic, these guys from South Africa, right? They came up to train at our gym. They would spin around in circles for like a minute and get as dizzy as they could, and their trainer would throw tennis balls at them. And while they could barely stand on their feet, they had to catch the tennis balls. And so we used to do that, right? And it's the same thing. It's like, I love collaborating with people in, our EXP organization from across the country that are doing just different stuff and being like, oh, you know what? I think that would kill it in San Antonio, and taking those ideas. Because if I walk into if I had a local office, which apparently people are really excited about these days, I walk into my local office and find out what the guy in San Antonio is doing to generate business, I'm not really that interested. I'm so allergic to doing what other people are doing that it immobilizes me. I have to be doing something different than what the people around me are doing. And that's what I love most about this collaboration thing that we have going on. That's just awesome.
It's a really cool concept. And now that I've been with EXP for about a year and a half, not quite, but all the reasons why I thought I was joining, ended up being true. But then all the other benefits, like the collaboration and how you are now financially incentivized to help others win financially.
It's crazy.
That is so powerful right there, because it actually happens that way. There's other brokerages that claim that's the case. It's not the case. Talk to pretty much anyone, and they're like, no one's helping me. No one's sharing their secrets. No one's giving me their listing presentations.
Well, not if they're your neighbor,
right?
Right. You guys are going to the same listing appointments.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Kyle Whistler, I think, said it best in a short thing. He called it the fast forward movement. It just gets you there faster. And it's like, I've been in the business, like I said, 4.5 years, starting out having no idea what the heck I was doing, knowing nobody in this business. And I think we're going to be in about 10 different markets by the end of the week. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that anywhere else. And so that's what's
right.
Without making this thing into an EXP pitch, because I don't want to do that, but that's been the biggest thing for me personally.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a new way of doing things, and it's not just new, it's the way things will be done moving forward. And then it'll continue to grow on what's currently happening. There's just so many people that are spending their time, which is more valuable than anything, building businesses and brands under a structure that is outdated and will eventually be obsolete. And it's crazy. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. I'll wrap it up here with this. So we do these rapid fire questions with all of our guests, asking either or questions to get to know you a little bit better. And so we've got some rapid fire questions. You don't need to elaborate unless you want to.
I always elaborate.
Yeah, go for it. Because again, you've got nothing to do today. So let's elaborate the shit out of it.
What do we got?
Facebook or Instagram?
Oh my goodness. Why you got to start me off with the hardest? That's so hard. I've built my business and my sphere and everything else on Facebook. But if I was starting over today, I would say Instagram would be more powerful.
Interesting. Okay. Instagram or LinkedIn?
Instagram. Not knocking LinkedIn. I haven't done anything with it or gotten anything from it.
Sure. Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
iPhone or Android?
I mean, with all the stuff that's going on in Russia, I got to say iPhone because that's the communists that use Androids, right? Is that what?
Among many other terrible, unsavory people.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Like when the green bubble pops up, it's tough for me. I just lost half of the audience, but it happens.
Well, and I just doubled my respect for you as well, all at the same time.
You can have more than half the country hate your guts and be the president, so it's not the biggest deal.
I can't argue with that, now can I? Alexa or Google Home?
Google, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I like some of the things that Google's doing. I don't think they've done a great job with it, but I think security is going to be more and more of a factor in the future. And I think Google, I'm hoping, they've done some stuff that makes me think this, they may position themselves as the more secure, more privacy thing when we know Alexa's listening to us and figuring out what we want and what we want to buy and trying to figure out how to send your new shoes to you before you even want them. And so I think from that play, I like Google's ability to win.
All right, fair enough.
And all the stuff you're doing on SEO can just swap right over. You don't have to worry about trying to build a presence on a new thing.
See, I'm with you there. So I've done a flash briefing on Alexa called the Massive Agent Minute. Today is episode 407. We've done 407 straight episodes, 7 days a week. And it's just so easy on the Alexa platform. Google, I can't get it on Google. Like, it's such a pain in the ass. You have to be like some developer and coder just to understand how to get your flash briefing or your, what do they call it? Your news on Google. Yeah. So I don't have it on Google. I'd like to for the reasons you just mentioned. Then Google can pull from it, put it into the search results. If people are asking for certain tidbits through the Google Home device, they can pull from a flash briefing. But it's not there because Google's a bunch of nerds and don't understand that average people need to use it. So
I got a client that just got a job at Google. I'll send him an email and say, hey, Dustin needs help here.
Yeah, tell him to freaking get on it, man. Like I would be publishing on there every single day.
The other thing is I don't like Google because I can't reference who runs the show, right? I could talk about Amazon and be like, oh, Jeff Bezos. And I can talk about Facebook and be like, oh, Mark. I got to call Mark. But I don't even know who to call it at Google.
Oh, yeah. I can't pronounce his name. I think he's Indian or Pakistani. Super smart freaking dude. But yeah, he doesn't have a household name.
No. We need household names, Google.
Seriously, get a household name. Come on.
All right, give me another question.
This one's even more important. Burgers or pizza?
Oh, my goodness. Jeez, this isn't... You should have sent me these ahead of time. So
you could mull them over?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm from the Northeast. I'm from Connecticut, right? And so you would say pizza. I mean, it's got to be. New Haven, New York. I mean, all the great pizzas right there. Little known fact, though, New Haven, Connecticut is the home of Louis' Lunch, where the cheeseburger was invented. And so I've got a lot of heritage attached to burgers as well.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm really conflicted on this. But I got to go with pizza.
Okay. So right now, if your wife's like, what do you want for lunch?
Yeah, it's
burger, pizza. Pizza?
Myself here.
Fair enough. New York or LA?
Oh, New York.
I'm with you.
Is that even a question?
To some. Yeah.
Okay. Check out my YouTube video about New York. It's kind of fun. I don't know if you know Jay Glazer, but I went around with him. We looked at
Sports guy?
His $6 million apartment. It was pretty cool.
Jay Glazer, the like Fox Sports guy?
No. Jay Glazer is a very high producing agent in New York City. Also a sports announcer for they're two different people.
Okay, gotcha. So not the short bald guy?
Not the short bald guy, no.
Okay. Fair. Are you a sports fan?
I watch fights. I grew up fighting, so I love fights, but I've had trouble investing my life into some teams of people I don't know.
Yes. Okay. UFC or professional boxing?
Oh, my goodness. Can't we just talk about video? These are tough questions.
That ship is sailed, man. We've already done that.
I love boxing. I mean, it is in my heart. I grew up with it. I hate what the politics in boxing has done to boxing, and I love the purity of UFC where everybody fights everybody and you see the fights you want. So I love the art of boxing more than I love the art of UFC, although I do love the art of UFC a lot. I got to say, I'm probably paying for more UFC fights than I am boxing matches this year.
They're just more entertaining, I think.
No, boxing
I think so.
Would be more entertaining if they made the entertaining fights. Like seeing two guys go to war boxing for 12 rounds, I think is more entertaining than a UFC fight. But they make these boring boxing fights so people stop liking boxing, and you got to wait 2 years and spend too much money to watch the big fight.
I think boxing's awesome, but you're right. It's all about the matchup and how it's promoted and the the marketing. UFC they're marketing geniuses.
I mean, like Tyson in the 80s or 90s, like you can't beat that, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, next one: mountains or beach?
Oh my goodness,
dude, you're struggling here. This is fantastic.
We were just having a conversation about this because we literally just drove from Connecticut to Texas. We would vacation at the beach, but own a house in the mountains. So we do have a house right on the water, just south of the Cape in Massachusetts, and we love it. I mean, it's my favorite place to go to every year. I wish I could spend, the whole summer up there, but I would not want to live there year round. I'd rather live in the mountains, vacation at the beach.
I am 100% on board with that. That I would.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah,
I could write our own destiny.
Live on the beach.
Yeah.
I'd go there for months of the year for sure. But yep, I want to live in the mountains. Salt Lake or Jackson Hole.
Let's buy a house in the mountains. You get one side, I'll get the other.
I get the west wing, you get the east.
No. You get of the mountain. Like we're buying a mountain, you get one side, I get the other.
Oh, that seems reasonable enough. Let's do that. I like it. All right. So real estate industry or housing market, really. Are we in a bubble nationwide or is this not a bubble?
I think we are at the top, but I don't think we're in a bubble.
Fair enough. I like it. Podcasting or vlogging?
Podcasting. The reason why, I think there's less competition. I think it's much easier to break into the space and have a great podcast that people listen to than it is to have a great vlog that people watch. So if you have time and resources and you can dedicate it to one thing and you're really trying to build an audience, I think it's easier to build an audience podcasting.
Absolutely, because people consume podcasts while they're doing other things, so they can listen more consistently and more often.
And there's just a couple things that make it a little harder to do where drastically less people are going to do it and are doing it. I mean, there's a million people putting out vlogs on YouTube. It's crazy. Podcasting, less competition.
Yes. YouTube or Facebook Live?
YouTube. The reason being that YouTube, the value of that video lasts a whole lot longer than a Facebook Live. If you go Facebook Live and people watch it that day, maybe some people watch it the rest of the week. After that, that piece of content is gone. Nobody's ever going to see it again unless it pops up on your memories and you happen to comment on it.
Yep.
YouTube, nobody's going to watch it the first week. Nobody's probably going to watch it the second week. But over time, that video will gain a lot more. It's got compound interest over a lifetime.
And it's so important to understand the differences between the platforms because it all depends on what you're trying to do. What's the video about? What's your goal with it? Because they're both very powerful for what they're supposed to do. So
current things in the moment, Facebook Live. searchable evergreen content like 5 tips to sell your house, YouTube.
Love it. Uber or Lyft?
Ooh. I took my first couple of Lyfts lately, actually. And I got to stick with Uber, but if we're balling on a budget and things are busy, you can get Lyft. But I feel like their quality of car is lower. Is that right?
It seems like it, but
Like I know
Lyft
Uber,
also seems less expensive. You think Uber is less expensive?
Uber has certain criteria for cars they let in their service, and I feel like Lyfts are probably low.
Yep.
And Uber has whatever their higher rates because it's busy. Lyft, I think, is usually cheaper.
I think so too. Yeah, I use Lyft when I travel because I get Delta Sky Miles for trips to and from airports.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I do that, and they're usually about the same, like within $1 or so.
Yeah.
All right, last one: Gary V or Grant Cardone.
Oh, Gary V.
Nice,
Without question. And look, we bought our first house about 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And Grant Cardone was on the Bigger Pockets podcast. And I put new floors in the house, and it took me, I don't know, a while. I was doing it by myself. And I listened to Grant Cardone on repeat. I thought the guy was amazing. The mindset stuff he talks about is awesome. And then I started listening to his podcast, and every single thing he does is a backward sales pitch to sign up for whatever he's selling. So He's completely off my map. Gary V's the total opposite. He's not really selling anything. You know what I mean? I guess he is now a little bit, but ultimately, yeah, I'm a huge...
A little bit, but so what? He should.
I'm a huge like anti-Cardone guy because I think he just went from super inspiring, motivating, all this stuff, and he sold out.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Yeah, so with Cardone, I love his books. I think the content of what he says, for the most part, is great. It's getting less so. I don't like his personality, so I don't like to hear him or see him.
I don't mind his personality. I actually
really.
He's
annoying to me, man. But what he's saying is usually good. But what really pissed me off is he over promotes the shit out of like a free webinar or something. Like you're going to learn everything you need to do this one thing, whatever. And I did it once. I fell for that once, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn these. I forget what it was exactly. The entire freaking webinar was him bragging about different things, about how much this guy in his office makes, how much this guy in his office makes. And he never went into anything substantial at all. It was embarrassing. And ever since, I've just been, screw you.
Yeah. For me, it was, he would talk about like, you don't have an expense problem. You have an income problem. Like, it doesn't matter how many expenses you have. You just need to make more money. And there's like this tiny little bit of truth in that, right? Like there is like, you can solve,
you should do both.
Revenue. Revenue tends to solve a lot of problems. But it's like, he's talking to somebody who could barely make ends meet. Right. And they're broke and they're trying to like, they got a family and all he's doing is trying to mind trick them into signing up for his $1,000 a month course. And that's when I was like, man, screw that. I can't do this anymore. Cause I know, like I've seen it. And if you've been around, especially in the real estate investing space, you've seen the people get taken advantage of to sign up for something. Mm-hmm. They get all fired up about hopes and dreams and all the stuff they're going to do. And they just get swindled. And I can't promote anybody that swindles.
Yeah. The real estate investing space has more swindlers than almost any other space I've seen. Like
and I got to be honest though, more and more I keep seeing them in our space.
Sure. Oh, the coach, or it's usually the lead gen people. Like I see it all the time in Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Leads.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And they never, ever talk about anything but the leads. That's how you know they've never actually like received one and followed up with it and nurtured it. Yeah. It's funny. It's pretty telling. Cool, man. I'm going to ask you for one app recommendation for an app that you love right now, that you're obsessed with right now. And then you can let the peeps know where they can find you.
One thing that we're using, I actually met one of the developers. It's how I stumbled upon it. It is called Asana, and it's very similar to Trello. I just like the interface a little bit better. And so we're doing a lot of our project management and tracking stuff on there. And so that's called Asana, ASANA.com. So if you're looking for a place to maybe get organized because you're like me and you're unorganized, it's worth a shot. I know all those apps really depend on the person more than they depend on the app. Like we're all different personality wise, and we all enjoy, man, you're going to get me going off on some other stuff. You're never going to end this interview.
Well, you have all day.
Well, the technology thing, man, it's like the brokerages trying to come out with the best CRM and the best this and the best that. It's like the technology play is never a win or a loss because you're constantly fighting. And so if somebody comes out with something today and they think they've won, I mean, that's just who's going to win next year. And so,
and then they have an outdated business model that will not survive.
And so committing to anything because they're winning the current day's technology race isn't really a thing. But where are we at? Oh, so the other reason is that the CRM in this platform depends almost more on your personality type and the interface that you enjoy and work well with, more so than it does a CRM. I mean, you look at something like LionDesk. LionDesk is probably the cheapest, most powerful CRM out there when you talk about bang for your buck that I've seen. I don't click with it. Like I go into it and it's not intuitive to me.
Right.
So when you're looking at this stuff, you can't like go into a Facebook group and look for people's suggestions on what the best one is. You have to try the different CRMs to figure out which one's intuitive to you. And so Asana's been great for us. We love it.
Nice. I've heard of Asana. They have good reputation. Trello's cool. It's I use a combination of Trello and my notes on my Mac and everything. I'm organized.
So try Asana. It'll help distract you for a little bit.
I like it. Cool, man. And where can people find you?
On the interwebs.
Cool. All right, Tim. Thanks a lot.
Facebook's a good place to find me. You can follow my personal page and follow my business page, and then Instagram. Look, like I said, we're trying to get Instagram going. So it's Tim Macy Realtor on Instagram, and then we are going to get the podcast fired back up. So hopefully, Dustin, maybe you'll come jump on our podcast here, and we can regurgitate the same conversation we just had. But check that one out as well because we interview some interesting people in RETV. RE Space TV is the Facebook group.
And that's a great Facebook group. I remember when you guys first launched it, and it grew like a wildfire. It was crazy.
Well, I think it was because we led with the fact that you couldn't recruit in the group and you couldn't sell anything, and it was only video. And that's what that's like the immediate thing when people look at a Facebook group. It's like, is this a Facebook group to sell me something or recruit me, or like what is the reason for this? And when we put that up there, I think everybody just jumped right in.
Nice, dude. Awesome. Yeah, I'd be happy to be on the show, but I thought you wanted to start it back up again, not run it into the ground. So I'm happy to do it, but you may not be the best move.
Everybody likes a train wreck. We know that.
Hey, just look at me. I mean,
I appreciate you having me on, man. This is fun.
You bet, man. Thanks a lot, Tim. Talk to you soon. As you can see, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's so many different ways that you can win and be successful with video. It just requires some work. It requires testing. What I respect most about Tim Macy, and my biggest takeaway from that interview, is how much testing he does and how he's willing to pivot. He's honest. He's like, oh crap, well, I guess this isn't working. He's not married to it. He doesn't get all like personally hurt if an idea he has doesn't work. He just tries something else, and then if that works, he does more of it. That's what we all need to be doing. We can't be so childish about the results. Like, look, the data we get from the market is the data from the market. Like, that's all that matters. If you're doing something that you like doing, but it doesn't work, are you willing to change it? If the answer is no, that's a problem. Like, you're grossly limiting your success as an agent, as a human being, if you can't like look at the data you're getting and then adjust. So that's all. Guys, I highly recommend if you do not have a CRM yet, or you're not stoked with your CRM, you need to check out Wise Agent. I've been with Realty Juggler, who for $99 a year is a great value. Then I went to LionDesk because they had more bells and whistles and stuff. But something about the user interface was confusing. It did not make sense. And most feedback I was getting from other agents is they can't use it. It's not usable. So then I discovered Wise Agent, and I've been using it ever since. I'm a big fan of Wise Agent. It has all the bells and whistles you could ever need. It honestly has more than you'll need. You don't need all the bells and whistles. You really don't. But it is more user-friendly, I have found, than LionDesk. That's my personal opinion. But it's also the feedback I've been getting from a lot of you guys as well. It's more user-friendly. It's an award-winning CRM built specifically for real estate agents. So if you want to try it out for 14 days for free, all you have to do is go to massiveagentpodcast.com/wiseagent, massiveagentpodcast.com/wiseagent. And if you decide after the trial to use the CRM, which I highly recommend, then you'll actually get access for free to my drip campaigns, the Massive Agent drip campaigns for buyers, sellers, and open house attendees. You get that for free. And the way they track it is by when you sign up using that link. So make sure you use massiveagentpodcast.com/wiseagent, and then they track it. So use that, get a 14-day free trial. If you decide to join or buy it, whatever, if you decide to use Wise Agent, then you'll get access to my drip campaigns for free, so you're not reinventing the wheel, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, I will be speaking a lot in over the next 2 months, as you heard in the beginning. Would love to meet you. If you are going to be at any of those events, let me know. If you are looking for any speakers or trainers for any event, or you know of anyone who is, please keep me in mind, keep us in mind. We'd love to... I just love traveling and getting out there and meeting agents and having one-on-one conversations. And, speaking on stage is fun too, but it's what happens afterwards and beforehand, which is really, that's really fun for me. So I'd love to meet you. Appreciate you guys listening. Take care. Go close some loans. Go sell some homes. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.